had in 38 years, and it's going to be smaller before this year's out. I sure thank you for thinking of me, and enjoy the little kennel walk. And let me see what I can put on here for you. Here's an old bitch that doggone has had me 1 litter of pups, and her name is Rough Tracy, I do believe, and she's right off of the old Rough Park dog and what are you off of? The old Tracy bitch, I do believe. Anyway, she's old and doggone don't look as good as I'd like for her to, but she's just coming off some pyrometria, which we treated with the Luda lace flush and what have you. So she's looking better than she could, because that stuff a lot of times will kill them. Anyway, I hope to breed this dog this year or next. She's getting old, but she's in pretty good shape for an old dog, and her sister is down at Ferg's, and she's in relatively good shape too. Anyway, let me put a few more on here, and we'll head on down the way. Here he is, the heaviest alligator dog I've got. Racehorse Hines. I'm very, very proud of what he produces. And doggone, he's a goober. He's not going to stand still for me, but that's all right too. So we'll just go on down the way and put some more on here. As this old guy bounces around from one side of his cover to the other. And doggone, he's not a pup anymore, but he's not wore out either, so bear with me. Here's one of his sons, as a matter of fact. What you doing, buddy? And I'm trying to think how old he is. He's not a pup, but he's not, I'm going to say 7 or 8, 9 months old. And he's off of that bitch of Moody's. And doggone, of course, his daddy is a racehorse, and his mama's a bitch that is off of Easy Coley and that old Sarah bitch. What is her name? I just bred her sister. I can't think of her name to save my life, but it's kind of a catchy name. And if I think about it later on, I'll put it on here, because well, I sure do like this breeding. It's genetically diverse enough that it should be good. And of course, this dog's going over to Tennessee, and as an individual, I sure do like him, and plan on making this breeding again, which I just, of course, bred to his mama's sister. And his mama's name's Rough Neezer. I knew I'd remember it if I just hung with it long enough. And doggone, let me show you what else I got here. Here's a male that I call Miner. And Miner's off of Easy Coley and Sarah Rue. And doggone, Rufus looking little feller. Not quite as exaggerated leggy as I like, but nevertheless I do like him. And he's a dog that's available. I'm not just dying to sell him. And I thought about keeping him and bred him, as a matter of fact, last summer. But doggone, it was so scalding hot that the bitch didn't stick. And sometimes that happens in the heat. So he's a little fella that's here and is available. About 2-year-old dog. And I sure do like him. And he's bred just like the champion hopscotch dog, right off of my old Scotch dog, which is Barry's dog. And Scotch, of course, went back to Dio. He is an alligator bully Panama red dog. And then on the bottom, he's that Mini Zoe, which Jason had. And Mini Zoe was real heavy in the LeBlanc Mims / Sorrel type breeding. And from the first breeding we made like this, I think there's 5 or 6 in all, but one could catch hog, work cattle, and none of them has gotten killed up to date. And there's 2, Tom Lundberg's Jill and Jason's Hopscotch, that are ADBA show champions. And from this litter, I think that there's several that are show champion quality. Donnie over in Georgia has one that, oh my, she's a nice dog. And showed her at the Nationals right after she had puppies, and she ended up taking a second place over there. So, very good bunch of dogs, and I very well might sell this dog, although I'm not really trying to. Scotcher, what you doing, buddy? And boy, he is moves like a cat, and got a good eye. Of course, he's showing me his tail. That's what he thinks about this camera. Anyway, let me go down the way, and we'll put a couple more on here, and doggone, see what we got. Here's a dog I'm putting on here that doggone, he hates this camera. This is a border that's right off of Tanner Chinkai, and that's why I'm putting him on here. I think he's Tanner Chinkai and Miss Goon, which I have a sister to. Anyway, I'm just putting him on here so you can see the type of dogs that the old Tanner Chinkai dog is producing for me, and also you can tell with the ears he don't belong here, so bear with me, and I'm going to put another border on here that's awesome, pretty good stuff. Here's a daughter of Racehorse Haynes, and doggone, she looks enough like Nelson Byland's old Pitts dog to be as one of her daughters or sister or something. But I really like this dog. She's been in a couple of shows and has placed several times. I think mostly second places, but in a very, very tough class of dogs, and I sure do like this dog. And she might be bred to the dog I just put on here. She is a border also. And doggone, the guy that's got her is very proud of her, as am I. And she's a daughter of Racehorse Haynes, and I think Crybaby. Anyway, a pretty good bred little dog, and I sure do rather rough buster. And what's your mama, buddy? Got old Molly Park bitch, which is the daughter of Park. And I really like this dog. He's a real mellow, laid-back dog, which I like. And he's also a dog with a good eye, and he'll listen to you. You can bring this dog in the house. He's got a brain, and also confirmation. Got very good angulation, and doggone, just a laid-back dog, a good-natured dog, like I specifically like. Here he is. Go ahead, darling. Here is the old trailer. Look at that face. Face only a mother could love. And Trailer is right off of Park and Pango. Pango Packerby. And dog, she's getting old. Matter of fact, I don't think there's but, maybe a half dozen, maybe not even 2 or 3 Park dogs left. But anyway, she's the last litter that Park produced for me. And golly, she's been a good one for me. Hadn't produced a whole bunch of puppies, but everything I got off of her, I like. Now, I'm fixing to put her mama on here. Her old mama's old and ragged, but doggone, she's happy every day of her life, and I'm proud that she's still here at the Catch Dog place. Well, there's an old white face. If she comes out later on, I'll get a shot of her. But doggone, she's old as a hills, and if she don't want to come out, I'm just not going to force the issue. Here's one of the heavier alligator bitches that I've got. This is a bitch called Brayla. It's right off of Trailer, and the old grandson of Hailstone. What was his name? Hailgator, Brody. No, it wasn't either. It was that Rough Snort. Anyway, doggone, she's a very, very heavy alligator bred dog. Never have got a puppy off of her. Bred her this last heat cycle, and she looked like she's going to have me something, but didn't. Anyway, she's here and really not available, but who knows, I might decide to sell her at some point in time, and I sure do like her. Again, she's one of those real mellow dogs that are more to my liking than the wild and crazy guys. Here's a little dog I call Butkus that I just discovered the other day, 9 years old. And he don't look that old, don't act that old, but he is. And he's here at stud, or I very well might sell little Butkus. He's been with me a long time, reminds me more of my Bruno dog than anything on the place, and golly, I like this little dog. And he's a dog that's just has done good for me over the years. Never produced me a puppy, even though I've bred him a couple of times. And a kind of a unique genetic structure. Goes back to some of my snooty, of course, alligator bully with some of the Tonka Red Baron. She's a very, very well-bred little dog. Somebody said, well, he's scatterbred. Well, it fits better than you think, but it's not tight-bred, which is kind of what I try to stay with rather than just stacking them so tight that they hadn't got much left at the end of the day. Anyway, he is here, and doggone, if you want to breed to a little feller that's a real nice little dog, he might be the ticket, and like I say, if I could find the right situation, I would sell him. Now, here's an old guy. What you doing, Robbie? He's some of my old stuff, and he's a little bit bigger than I like, and he's a very, very well-bred dog. Right off Alfonso and Lasue. The last one of these that I've got. And I've bred him several times, not got puppies. His sperms always look good. But he's got a low-grade infection or something going on. So he's up there at least as old as Butkus. So we'll see what's happening and maybe get puppies off of him, maybe not. But he's got him a place here until he dies if we don't. So he's here, and you want to use a big old dog for breeding some of my old and new mixture. This might be the guy. Here is old Timmy's sister, Congo and K-Rocks. And golly, I like this bitch. And she's bred right now to Butkus, but she's due within a week. So I don't think she's going to have me no puppies. And I might sell this bitch. I'm not trying to, but I might sell her. I might send her down and get her bred to a heavy tonk red Baron male. But I just don't know. It's that deal that, sometimes you got to just kind of weigh your options. So she's not a young dog, but she's not, but I think maybe 5 or 6, 7 tops, I believe. But I really like the genetic structure on this dog. She goes back to a sister to that, a brother to that Candy dog that was in Europe that Limey and them had, a dog called Red Hulk. And she's just a sweet dog, and doggone, she's like some of the Rufus stuff. She come deaf, which her brother, old Tommy, was deaf too, which if they're produced as good as Rufus, I don't mind them being deaf at all. And doggone, she is a dandy little dog as far as I'm concerned. I really wish somebody would get this dog and use him. This is Champ's son, and he's the heaviest diversified snooty dog that there is probably in existence, but the heaviest one on my yard. In other words, on the top, he's Tanner, and on the bottom in his pedigree, he has China Boy, Bama Red, and a dog that's not a snooty dog, but the Lucan dog. So he's a super, super bred dog. His pedigrees go, they just don't make them that's any better bred than this dog. And I've tried to breed him a couple of times, and he's not super aggressive. This is a real laid-back dog. To be a Tanner dog, he's exceptional. And I really, really do like him, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get anything off of him. And he's getting up there 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. I just have to look it up. But he's one that is available at stud, or I would sell this dog. So this is one to keep in mind. And as the Tanner dogs go, he is one of the cream of the crop, and there's not much of that stuff left either. Here's a little old-timey girl that, boy, I love this bitch. She's off of Scotch, and what is she, Rough Tracy? Or anyway, she's a very well-bred little crippled-up dog. What's the matter, Stinker? And she had me puppies last year before, and doggone, I like this bitch, and I like the way she's bred. She had a brother that I really, really thought a lot of, and he went to Oklahoma, and I think he got killed up there by a hog or something, but maybe a kennel accident. I don't know. I just heard that he was dead, so I'd always hope to get some puppies off of him. And this bitch here, I've got a puppy off of her, and I think I do, off of her and Easy Coley, that a bitch pup that I sure do like. So it's one of those things that even when she's gone, there'll be a little bit of that genetic structure still left. Here's the old knucklehead, doggone, right off of, her name's Holly, and she's off of Noxon and the old Holly bitch. Her name actually is Holly Bell. And golly, I like this dog. She's produced me some real nice puppies. And she's fixing to go on a sojourn. A fellow's decided to take her off my hands and breed her to some good Eli stuff or something. So we'll see what happens there, and I think she'll make him very, very happy with what she produces. She too is kind of could be coming off of a knucklehead and a crazy-ish kind of dog. Noxon wasn't one of my favorite dogs, by the way. He was off of Park in TK. Very well bred dog, but oh geez, he is a handful. And Jennifer made that breeding, and doggone, this is that's where she come from, and she's going to go on to another situation here in the next month or so. I sure have enjoyed having him. Here's the old guy that, golly, this has been a good one for me, and he's kind of the best kept secret on the place, right off of Coolio and Parcabella. Come on, buddy. Come on. And somebody said, well, has he still got good sperm? Well, the last time I checked it, last time I bred him, he did. And he's 9 or 10 years old, maybe 11, but I don't think he's that old. This is the old Easy Coley dog. And golly, I like this old dog. I like the genetic structure blend of the alligator bully snooty at its very best. And haven't bred him to very many bitches, but boy, he's produced some awful good dogs, and some dogs that I am certainly proud to have bred up and owned a few and sent some out that were, made the people happy. Anyway, he's here at stud, and I've even been asked if I'd sell him, and I might sell him, but it just have to go to a situation I thought was right. He could use some TLC, but he gets pretty much TLC here, so doggone, we'll see what happens, and he's been a good one for me. Here's a little male that I really hope to keep this little dog. He's off of Easy Dommy, and what was your daddy's son? I think Knee Buster. I don't know why I can't remember it, but anyway, very, very well bred little dog, and a dog that as a puppy I didn't like him near as good as I did a couple of his brothers, but I've grown to really, really like this dog. He'll take this old big bamboo and bite it in two. I call him the bamboo eater, just like nobody's business. And man, get out your pocket knife and just cut a piece of it in two and see how easy it is. Anyway, let me get a little bit different angle on him. I think I can get him up on that house. You can see him from the side a little bit better. Well, I don't guess he's going to get up on his cover, which I thought he might. Come here, buddy. Anyway, you can see with him moving, man, he's got some good movement, and he come from a litter of, I'm talking about real shiners and dogs that doggone just crazy acting dad blame dogs. And he was a laid back one that, he'd let him push him off from the feed, but he'd just come back and eat later. He's a real lackadaisical dog as a puppy, but man, now that he's gotten bigger, I've warmed up to him, and I really like his attitude, and I like his more than anything else, just his demeanor. And biting the bamboo in two tells me that doggone he could be part panda bear. Anyway, let me go on down the way and put some more on here. There's something you don't see at the catch dog place years ago, but doggone, they're here now. Little old roosters, man, they're raring to go. Here's somebody said Hammonds has got blue dogs, bull terriers, and this is a border. And doggone, this dog barks incessantly sometime, but I kind of like her, and she's hard keeping dog. But I'll be glad when the guy gets an opportunity to come get her, because I'm not tired of her or anything, but she needs to be back in the situation of pen. And doggone, she's just wide for sand. Here is Tanner Miss, and boy, this is a great dog. I love this dog. Sister to OS Tanner. And there's another one out there. I can't tell you exactly what's happening here, but this dog has had me some puppies last year, and boy, I sure did like him. She's right off of Tanner and Midgery, and of course that's Tanner on top and a little bit of hailstone on the bottom, which lends itself to dogs that could be a little bit too hot for my liking and a little bit too much of a handful, but doggone, it is what it is. And she did a real good job for me this last year. I had puppies off of Sandy, but she's a puppy eater. And bear with me just a second. Anyway, this old bitch had me puppies, and Sandy was having puppies just about the same time. And she is a puppy eating fool. I've never raised a puppy off Sandy, which is a hailstone bitch, so you see why I would want to. Hailstone and China Maori. But anyway, she was having me puppies, and they were 3 days old, her puppies, and Sandy had puppies, and I got her to adopt 2 and raise them for me. So I called them the Miracle Pups. I've got one still here, the little Hail Sign dog. Stop that digging! And this girl here's got her a spot for life as far as I'm concerned, because golly, she did me a good deed there. Here's a little mess right here, and doggone, what do you got a hole stomped out for there, girl? This is a little dog here, and she hears a chicken. Oh, you nearly got it. Anyway, she's awful latte, and I'm trying to think what, maybe that old rough snort dog. She's not for sale. She's another heavy alligator dog that I hope to breed next time she has a good heat cycle. And doggone, I sure do like the little mess. And she's not a problem, quiet as a mouse, and I guess she's getting up 4 or 5 years old, but she's here, and I ought to have me some puppies in the next year or two, if the good Lord's willing. So bear with me. Here's the old Jangus dog. He's right off of Django and Annie Bell, so he's a half-brother to Chance, and got the loaded up with the snooty. Of course, Django on top, it's coming through Coolio, which is off of China Boy. And boy, I really like this dog. He's a stud, or I might sell him. He's up 8, 9, 10 years old, but he's in pretty good shape for an old dog. And doggone, I like his just his attitude, and got doggone laid back with a good eye. So he's my kind of dog, and I've fed him all these years, and I should have used him and just haven't. So doggone, it happens that way sometime. You can't breed them.